Hello, welcome back. I am so sick of this damn supercharger, guys. I seem to keep having issues with it, and just problem after problem. Yesterday I didn't even film a whole lot because I was actually stuck. I was driving it down the road and driving down the highway actually, and my alternator charge wire actually broke off. So I had to drive it home with like no lights, barely made it home on the frickin' battery charge. And then I parked it, and then the next day, yesterday, I actually went out and I fixed the alternator charge wire. And no shit, guys, I was doing that specific job for like 3 hours. This thing is just such a pain in the neck to work on because the alternator is like way tucked in there and you can't get at any of this stuff. So it was kind of a pain. I didn't even think I could actually get the alternator out with the supercharger on. So I don't know. I think I'm actually going to end up taking this supercharger off, and then I'm going to go back to, you know, how the car was all motor. I'm going to go back to the all motor just because I feel like the car was more fun. It was consistent and just seemed to work a lot better. But with the supercharger on, it seems to be always having this boost issue no matter what I do. I had a suggestion from a friend that he told me that this bypass valve could actually be sticking or, you know, opening when it shouldn't or closing when it shouldn't or whatever. And I actually eliminated the bypass valve from being an issue whatsoever, and I actually zip tied it shut. So it will run full boost all the time whenever I need it to. And it seems to be a little bit better. I think the bypass valve was leaking a little bit, but it still has an issue. I mean, sometimes it seems like when it's cold, it runs 14 pounds of boost and it's solid. And then as soon as I do a few pulls, it drops to like 10 and sometimes even 6. And I don't think it's belt slip. I got the belts super tight. I got brand new belts. They're tensioned properly. I don't know. I think maybe this supercharger is just a little bit worn out and, you know, it's just not working how it should. But, you know, like I said, I figured I'd give it a shot and see how all this stuff is working and see if I like superchargers or whatever. And personally, I don't like the inconsistency with this thing. I mean, I think it's probably just going to get even worse when it gets warm out, and it's just going to generate some heat, and I just feel like it's going to be bad for my engine. I don't know. I feel like a turbo is more reliable, and a turbo makes better power, and I don't know. But, yeah, this is the last day. I think I'm going to keep it on here, and then we're going to take a break from the CRX, and we're going to work on a new project that I will show you a little bit later in this video. But, yeah, figure we'll get some pulls in and show you the last day with the supercharger here. Now today I've actually had the car out and I've done like 3 or 4 pulls, and now that I've shut the bypass valve completely, new belts, everything, it seems to be above 10 pounds no matter where I am. So it seems to be working good. Another thing is too is the supercharger seems to be very growly. It makes a lot of noise like that it shouldn't. It doesn't sound like it's healthy. Those rotors inside of there just might be banged up a little bit or whatever the case. But yeah, like I said, just a bunch of bad juju going on with the supercharger, and I just don't think I want to keep it on here personally. So whatever, hate if you want. At least I'm showing you guys what I'm doing and showing you guys why I don't like it and why I may be taking it off. So yeah, we'll get this thing fired up, do a few pulls, and we'll pick up, you know, after that. Okay guys, so we did some pulls in the CRX today. I'm not that impressed. I feel like this was more work than what it was worth. The belts are starting to walk off again. I don't know. Seems like a bunch of headaches I don't want to deal with. This is like old school, late 90s, early 2000s technology, and turbocharging is the way, in my opinion. Supercharging, you know, it's cool. I just think on a 4-cylinder, it's just not the best thing for it. Turbochargers just work way better, in my opinion. I've had superchargers now, nitrous and turbos, and I prefer turbo all day long on pretty much anything. So, I don't know. Hopefully you guys don't get too upset at me for taking the supercharger off. I will be taking it off in a few days. I got another customer car we're going to be working on though, and I'm going to pull that in the garage quick and show you guys what we got going on with this new car. And voila, we got a new project car in the garage that we will be working on. This is a customer's car. It is a EK hatchback with a supposable Type R swap. I don't know if it's like a US Type R or JDM Type R, or if it's a JDM GSR. I have no idea. It's a B18C. So yeah, this car is very clean. It's got some really good mods done to it. It's on coilovers. It's got nice old school Enki wheels. Super clean, like no dents in the body, no rust, nothing. Nice duckbill. Yeah. It's got some other cool stuff too, like some stuff in the interior I'll show you. I believe these are RSX seats or S2000, one of the two, but they're leather. It's got an RSX steering wheel, RSX, you know, pretty much a lot of RSX interior pieces. SI cluster, nice doubled in stereo. It's got some goodies, man. I really appreciate the build time that went into this car. It looks very nice, and I am very thankful to be working on it for this customer. Now, he brought it to me because he wants to get a turbo kit installed and to get the car retuned. Currently, the car has some issues with idling. It kind of idles weird and whatnot. It pulls strong. It seems to be a very healthy swap. So we are going to be bolting the turbo kit onto it and seeing what kind of power we can get out of this thing. The car seems to be set up very well, suspension-wise and alignment-wise. Like the car handles really nice, drives very good, very nice and quiet on the interior, etc. This is a very well put together car. Now let's get to the goodies and check out what's under the hood. Okay, so the owner says that this is a USDM Type R swap or JDM. I don't exactly know. Looks like the motor is from HMO, very reputable Honda motor company. They sell used Honda engines. So yeah, it's got the whale penis intake. And yeah, full frickin' car. It's got a nice half-size radiator, aftermarket aluminum one. I don't know quite what brand it is. A nice half-size radiator. It's got a bunch of goodies, bolt-ons here for like you know, the fender washers and all that. It's got power steering and AC, which is cool. Half-sport mounts. Just an all-around very well set up car. Now, unfortunately, when we do the turbo kit, we're not going to be able to keep the air conditioning because the turbo manifold does not actually clear for the air conditioning. So we're going to have to remove the AC and remove some other things so we can get this turbo kit installed. But first, I want to get all the parts laid out and show you all the parts that we're going to be working with on this new setup here. Okay guys, so I got everything unloaded and on the bench so I can show you all the parts that we are going to be installing onto this EK hatchback. Alright, so we got typical eBay turbo. This is actually a new downpipe. I have never seen one like this, so I'm hoping it fits without modifying it, but a lot of times you pretty much always have to cut and re-weld these downpipes to make them work. But yeah, cast iron log manifold, got a dump tube here. He went with AEM gauges, so we got AEM oil pressure, boost, and wideband. We got a Greddy knockoff blow-off valve, Golden Eagle sandwich plates, so this is going to be able to run the oil pressure gauge and the turbo feed line. We got a GM 3-bar map sensor, tile 44 to 38 millimeter adapter, And then we got a tile wastegate here. This is just a tile MVR, I believe. So there's that. Comes with a bunch of different springs to adjust for whatever boost pressure you want. That's one nice thing about tile wastegates. What else we got here? We got a boost controller. It's a Turbo Smart boost controller. We got some injector clips. These convert OBD2 to OBD1 style injectors. Walbro fuel pump. We got a CX Racing intercooler and CX Racing piping. CX Racing seems to make pretty good products, especially for Hondas and stuff. They work good. RC 750 fuel injectors. All the necessary oil lines, oil fittings, you know, etc. We got some bolts for the turbo. All the piping here, couplers, clamps, brackets, etc. So yeah, we also got a 3-pod gauge pillar behind the intercooler that I'll be putting these gauges into and whatnot. So yeah, definitely stay tuned for this upcoming project. Tomorrow I might take this thing out and kind of show you guys how it is all motor, and then we're going to start by taking some of this stuff apart, getting the bumper off, air conditioning out, exhaust off, all that kind of stuff. So be sure to subscribe and hit the bell if you guys want to stay up to date with this new project. I think it should be pretty fun. And like the video if you guys enjoy it, and be sure to tune in for the next video. Have a good night, guys.